Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while. I was doing the collab with Zether and it took me a while to get right back into it. And I know for the people who really like this what if wanted a part 2, and that's why I'm really sorry for not posting it. I just wanted to get the other video done and then this. And on the topic of the other video, my what if Deku had the Predator part 4. If you guys saw that video, you would notice that I had an intro there. And in this video, there's not going to be an intro. The reason is because I got copyright claimed for it. And because of the music. So if any of you guys would like to, make me an intro, I'd be really grateful. Just come down to my Discord and start talking to me. And I might even pick 2 and make it an intro and an outro. So if you guys really would like to come down there, pick a non-copyrightable song and make an intro for me, I would be really grateful. And other than that, guys, let's get started on the video. So we start off our story with Izuku thinking long and hard to answer All Might's question, as he tells All Might that he declines one for all, as All Might smirks and then looks at Bakugo, as Bakugo thinks long and hard as well, and tells All Might that he's always looked up to All Might, and that he'd be honored to be All Might's successor. As All Might hears this, he starts to laugh, as then he starts spitting blood, as he immediately debuffs, as All Might starts to explain to Bakugo and how One for All works and how he's gonna pass it down, as Bakugo is just amazed by All Might's strength. As Izuku is looking on, he asks All Might if he could also train him as well. As All Might thinks, he tells Izuku that he's not gonna be training him, but he knows someone who can. The very next day, Izuku wakes up in the morning and remembers All Might telling him and Bakugo to come to a certain beach. As Izuku leaves his house and flies to Bakugo's. As he gets there, he gets Bakugo and they both fly to the beach. As they get there, they see a lot of trash, and they also see a small old man with yellow clothes. As Grand Turner asks All Might who he's passing One for All to, as All Might points to Bakugo, telling Gran Torino that he's passing it on to Bakugo. As Bakugo smirks, but then Gran Torino reverts his attention to Izuku, as he gives a sinister smile to Izuku, and Izuku returns it. As Gran Torino laughs, telling All Might that he likes this one. As Gran Torino starts yelling at both Bakugo and Izuku, telling them that they need to clear all the trash behind them in around 5 months. As both Izuku and Bakugo run past All Might and Gran Torino, as they kept on running, All Might turned around, telling both of them that they can't use their quirks, as they both stop in their place, and All Might continues explaining, telling them that they need to increase their strength for them to do the efficient training, as both of them sigh and continue their running. As an hour goes by, Gran Torino starts lecturing Izuku about how to pick up the trash and how to do proper exercise, as Izuku got mad, telling Gran Torino to shut up. As Gran Torino smirked and told Izuku he'll be quiet if Izuku is able to pick up all the trash and throw it away in 1 month's time. As Izuku smirked, asking Gran Torino if this is a challenge. As Gran Torino nodded, Izuku immediately rushed in, picking up as much trash as possible and started throwing it away. But as Bakugo saw this, he didn't want Izuku to surpass him, so he started to do the same thing as Izuku, as both of them started to rush and started picking up as much trash as possible and threw it away. As by the end of the month, both Izuku and Bakugo had picked up all the trash that was on the beach. As both All Might and Gran Torino were very impressed, as Gran Torino gave Izuku a compliment, telling him that he did a good job. As Gran Torino continued, telling Izuku that was probably the only compliment that he's probably going to give him, as Izuku laughed, telling Gran Torino that it's probably not. As All Might started talking, he told Izuku and Bakugo that this is probably the last time that they're going to see each other, as both of them are confused what All Might means. But then Gran Torino tells Izuku to follow him. As Bakugo's confused, Izuku says goodbye and Gran Torino and Izuku leave, as both Gran Torino and Izuku arrive at an abandoned building. But then, as immediately as Izuku put his foot in the building, Gran Torino told Izuku that his training starts now, as Gran Torino starts hopping off of every wall and attacking Izuku. Izuku was able to dodge a few attacks because of his martial arts, but he wasn't able to dodge many, as Gran Torino was too fast for Izuku. As Izuku was getting annoyed by Gran Torino, as Gran Torino started taunting him and how slow that Izuku is. So Izuku used his wind abilities and started leaping off of the walls just like Gran Torino. As he started chasing Gran Torino, but Izuku wasn't fast enough, as Izuku kept on getting more annoyed and annoyed. But Izuku never gave up, as he kept on trying and trying. As Izuku kept on doing this, a mask started to form on his face. As the mask completed forming, as a black aura enveloped Izuku. As immediately as this happened, Izuku was able to catch Gran Torino immediately, as Gran Torino fell to the ground, confused what just happened. As Izuku got up and started cheering. But then, as the adrenaline went away, Izuku felt the pain, as Izuku immediately fell to the ground, as he passed out. As Izuku woke up, he told Gran Torino how he felt. He told Gran Torino that he felt an immense surge of power come over him, but he felt immense pain too. As Izuku picked up the mask that was on the ground and put it back on, as he felt an immense surge of power and he felt the pain, as Izuku immediately threw the mask through the ground. As Gran Torino was confused what this is, he told Izuku that he should discuss this with his parents and ask them what this was. As Izuku agreed, that night Izuku went home and asked his parents what this is. As they started to explain the mask and the emblem, they told him that they found this with him and they don't know what this is, as they found him as a baby and these were the items that they found with him. As Izuku was shocked that he was adopted, and he was also shocked that he had these items. As Izuku touched the emblem with the wing on it, he felt his power grow, but he didn't feel any pain. But the power wasn't as strong as the masks. As Izuku looked at the mask with fear. But Izuku wasn't gonna give up. As he touched the mask then and there, the mask disappeared, as Izuku was confused what was going on. As Izuku felt that the mask was in the air, as he shifted his hands around, and the mask appeared again, as Izuku was even more confused what was going on, and wondered if this is just the same thing, just like his weapon. But something was different about the mask, as the mask had a green and blue tint. As Izuku put on the mask again, he sees his real biological parents, as his parents start to explain to him that he's not from this world, and start to explain the items. As Izuku takes off the mask, realizing that he's not from this world, as a tear falls off of Izuku's cheek. But this makes Izuku more determined than ever, as he started training with Gran Torino more, and started increasing his skills, as his wind abilities grew increasingly. As then, he also started training with his mask, as he didn't fear it anymore, as he saw an extension of him, as a pain that he felt was the same pain that his world felt. As Izuku trained with the mask more and more, as the 10 months of training come to an end, as Izuku's wind abilities have increased a lot, and he can handle around an hour with the mask on, as Izuku is satisfied with the results. But on the last day of training, Gran Torino tells Izuku that they're gonna be meeting up with Bakugo, as Izuku gets excited as he gets a smile on his face. As both Gran Torino and Izuku reach the beach, both All Might and Bakugo greet them. As Gran Torino starts talking, telling Bakugo and Izuku that they probably know why they meted today. As both of them smirk, and they get into a fighting stance. So now let me tell you what Bakugo's been doing. Bakugo has been training on his body so he can handle much more higher percentages of One for All. He can use around 60% of One for All before he gets severely damaged. And that's why he can use around 30% of full cowling when he started off. As he's able to use full cowling, because I can say that Izuku had the time to do it and Bakugo has the time. So I say he unlocks full cowling much more earlier. But not only has Bakugo been working on One for All, he's been also working on his explosion quirk. As Bakugo has been using his explosions rapidly and increasing the speed time and much more bigger explosions. So now let's get back to the fight. As both Izuku and Bakugo get into a fighting stance, ready to fight. As Bakugo rushes at Izuku, about to hit Izuku with a huge explosion. But Izuku used one of his elemental martial arts techniques. He used air elemental martial arts. So basically what it is, he can basically dodge any attack that's thrown at him. So Izuku is able to dodge this and uses fire elemental martial arts and kicks Bakugo in the ribs. As Bakugo falls back, and turns full cowling to 30%. As he rushed at Izuku with electrical elemental martial arts, as he tapped Izuku's left hand's pressure points, as Izuku's left hand was paralyzed. Izuku felt like this is the time that he needed to show his trump card as well. As Izuku took out the Amno Vision and attached it to his waist, then he manifested his mask and put it on, as a surge of energy flew through Izuku, but he also felt the pain. But then, Izuku manifested his spear in his other hand, as he dove up into the air and dove down, as a huge crater was left and a huge burst of air blew everywhere, knocking everyone away, including All Might, as Bakugo fell to the other side. As Izuku took off the mask and walked over to Bakugo, as he told Bakugo that he also got a power-up, as both of them started to laugh, as Izuku walked up to Bakugo and gave Bakugo a hand, as both All Might and Gran Torino were astonished at Izuku's strength, as Gran Torino told Izuku that he was right, and told Izuku that he did a good job, as Izuku gave Gran Torino a slight smile. The very next day was the UA entrance exams, as both Bakugo and Izuku get ready, as Bakugo tells Izuku to meet him at the UA gates. As Izuku gets there, Bakugo tells Izuku that he's gonna beat him in points, as Izuku tells Bakugo to not count on it and that he's gonna beat him first. As both of them start running, Izuku trips and it was about to fall, but Izuku just uses his air abilities and lifts himself back up, as he sees Uraraka about to touch him, as Uraraka is about to say that she was about to help him, as Izuku tells Uraraka that he didn't need her help. As Uraraka stood there, confused at Izuku's answer. As Izuku took the written portion of the exam, he gets an easy 100 out of 100, and thinks to himself that they couldn't make the test easier. As Izuku walks with Bakugo to President Mike's orientation, as both Bakugo and Izuku sit down, and they start talking to each other, as Ida calls them out for talking, as both Izuku and Bakugo stare at Ida with a death glare, as Ida immediately sits down, not wanting to fight them, as Ida felt the presence that they gave off. After that interruption, President Mike started to explain the robots again, as he started to explain the 1-pointer, the 2-pointer, and the 3-pointer, and then he told everyone about the 0-pointer, as everyone was thinking about what the 0-pointer might be. As everyone leaves the room and goes outside to the gate, as everyone starts to get ready to fight all the robots. As Izuku sees Bakugo, he's walking up to him to go talk to him, but then Ida comes up and grabs Izuku's shoulder, telling him that he probably shouldn't interrupt that young man. But then Izuku got angry and was getting more frustrated as he pushed Ida's hand off of him and went and started talking to Bakugo. As then immediately the gates opened, as only both Bakugo and Izuku rush inside to go fight the robots. But Izuku felt somewhat different. He somewhat felt his power increasing, as his power started to leak all over the place, as people started to feel the presence of Izuku, as his power leaked and it got onto the robots, as the robots were emitted by a black aura, as they got much stronger and faster, as everyone was confused what was going on. But Izuku was still unfazed because he was able to still defeat all the robots pretty easily. Same thing goes with Bakugo, as both of them were still destroying every robot except for everyone else, as all of them were having a hard time defeating at least one robot. As Izuku's defeating the robots, he hears a blood-curdling scream and sees the 0-point robot emitted with a black mist, as Izuku immediately realized what was going on, as he hears Uraraka scream, as he rushes in, trying to attack the 0-pointer, but he barely did any damage. So he put on his mask and took out his emblem, as he started to do some damage, but barely any. But Izuku knew what he had to do, a special technique that he hasn't done for a while. As he yells out, combination elemental martial arts, fire, electric, and air, as he jumps up into the air and dives through the 0-pointer, as he left a giant hole as the 0-pointer fell to the ground, as Izuku picked up the rubble and picked up Uraraka, as he flew to a Recovery Girl and handed Uraraka to Recovery Girl, as Uraraka thanked Recovery Girl and Izuku. But Izuku just looked at Uraraka and looked away, as he flew away about to defeat more robots. As he was about to defeat another robot, President Mike yells out, telling everyone that the exam is over. As everyone was about to leave, Izuku was interrupted by Uraraka, as she was about to thank Izuku, but Izuku just kept on walking away, telling her to just become stronger, that's all he needs, as Uraraka became more determined to become a hero. So can we all agree here that Izuku's personality is like Dragon Ball Super's Vegeta? So now let's just continue on with the story. So as the weeks pass by, Izuku gets his letter from UA. As Izuku opens it, a hologram pops up of All Might, as All Might says, "I'm here," and starts to explain that the robots actually got a power-up because of Izuku's leaking of power, as Izuku was confused what was going on. As All Might continues, he congratulates Izuku, telling him that he was tied in first place with Bakugo, as both of them got 100 villain points and 50 rescue points. But Izuku was mad at himself for tying with Bakugo and not rescuing as many people. As he was about to call out Bakugo and start talking to him, the All Might hologram continues by telling Izuku that he's accepted into UA. Okay guys, I think this is where I'm going to leave it off for now. If you guys like the what if, don't forget to comment, like, and share. Don't forget to, click that red button and stuff, the regular stuff. And now, let's talk about my Discord. Please go down on my Discord and, start submitting some intros, because the last one I did got copyright claimed. So if you guys would like to talk to me and do something with the intros, I'd be really grateful, and it would be, really nice of you guys. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys later.